chosen one. Stop scrolling for a moment, because something happened in the spiritual realm today that you are not even aware of. Something so unexpected, so divine, so strangely beautiful, that heaven literally paused to look at you. And God himself. Yes, the one who formed the galaxies with a whisper, leaned back, smiled, and laughed with the kind of fatherly amusement only he can have when his child does something that surprises even heaven. And what you did today, whether you realized it or not, revealed a level of growth, courage, and spiritual maturity that nobody around you expected. Not even the ones who doubted you, overlooked you, or assumed they already knew your limits. Because today, you took a step that heaven has been waiting years for you to take. Maybe it was a simple decision. Maybe it was a quiet yes. Maybe it was a silent no. Maybe it was the moment you refused to react, refused to break, refused to fall into the same old trap. Or maybe it was the first time in a long time you chose faith over fear, peace over panic, destiny over doubt, and God, seeing your shift, your choice, your unseen obedience, responded not with warning or correction, but with holy laughter, the kind that fills the throne room with joy. And hear me, chosen one. God's laughter over your life is not mockery, not dismissal, not disbelief. It is delight. It is the laughter of a father watching his child finally stand in the identity he always knew was there. It is the laughter of, finally, they are getting it. The laughter of, I told the angels this one would rise. The laughter of, they thought you were finished, but I never did. The laughter of someone who sees the end from the beginning and knows that this step, this small but sacred moment, has just shifted something major in your story. And maybe you didn't feel anything dramatic. Maybe you were tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, or simply living your day like any other, unaware that your heart had crossed the spiritual threshold, unaware that the old version of you no longer fit, unaware that heaven was now treating you like someone who has entered a new level. And yet, here you are, walking with a quiet strength you didn't even pray for, carrying a peace you didn't know you asked for, moving with a confidence that didn't come from you, but from God stirring something deep inside your spirit. So hear this. The reason you stopped on this video is because heaven wants you to know that what you did today didn't just please God. It entertained him, it moved him, it delighted him, and it marked the beginning of a new chapter where God no longer watches you crawl. Because now you are learning to walk with him. You see, chosen one, you have spent years thinking you were behind, years feeling like you were failing, years believing you were somehow disappointing God. But today, heaven saw something different. Today, heaven saw the warrior. And you stand up in a way you never have before. And when God saw that shift, he laughed. Not because he doubted you, but because he always knew you had this strength in you. And watching you finally tap into it brought him the same joy a parent feels when their child unexpectedly conquers a challenge everyone thought was too big. And maybe you didn't even realize the moment it happened. Maybe it was when you refused to argue back, or when you shut your mouth instead of defending yourself, or when you gave that situation to God instead of overthinking it into exhaustion, or when you chose to forgive someone who didn't apologize, or when you walked away from something that had the power to destroy you, or when you did the brave thing even while your hands were shaking. Heaven saw that. God saw that, and the angels whispered, "Look at them, they are changing." Because everything that used to break you didn't break you today. Everything that used to trigger you didn't trigger you today. Everything that used to send you into spiritual warfare didn't even scratch you today. And that is why God laughed. The kind of victorious, fatherly, joyful laugh that says, My child is growing. My child is stronger than they realize. My child is finally seeing themselves the way I see them. Because here is the truth. Chosen one, every time you rise, heaven celebrates. Every time you heal, God smiles. Every time you break an old pattern, the spiritual realm trembles because they know a new level of destiny has just been unlocked. And what you did today, no matter how small you think it was, proved to heaven that the version of you that used to live in fear, insecurity, overthinking, guilt, and anxiety is no longer running the show. A new version of you is emerging, a wiser version, a spiritually sharper version, a version heaven has been waiting for. And God is so delighted at your growth, so moved by your resilience, so proud of your obedience, that his laughter shook the very atmosphere around your life. Which means this: something is about to shift for you. Something you prayed for is already unfolding behind the scenes. Something the enemy swore you would never reach is already being placed in your path, because heaven always releases blessings after moments of unexpected obedience. Chosen one, let me tell you what heaven saw that no one else did. The moment you chose peace over proving yourself, the moment you walked away instead of exploding, the moment you said, "God, I trust you," instead of spiraling into fear, you triggered a prophetic acceleration over your life, because the enemy's favorite trap has always been emotional reaction. And today you walked right past that trap without falling into it, and all of hell panicked, because they realized you are not the version of yourself they used to manipulate. And that is part of why God laughed, because your spiritual growth has now become unpredictable to the enemy. They cannot read you like before. They cannot trigger you like before. They cannot bait you like before. And when heaven saw you rise above the attack that was designed to distract you, the angel said, "They are stepping into their calling, and listen." Someone in your life didn't expect this version of you. Someone thought you would still react, still break, still fall back, still seek their approval. Someone thought they still had power over you, but today proved they don't. Heaven saw the shift. Heaven saw the moment you decided you were no longer controlled by people's opinions, emotions, behavior, or validation. Heaven saw you choose spiritual maturity over emotional chaos. And God, seeing that transformation, laughed the way a father laughs when his child finally realizes, "I don't need their approval. I already have my Father's." And that one moment changed everything. It altered the timeline of your blessings. It shifted the weight of your spiritual authority. It pushed you from survival mode into destiny alignment. Because when you stop reacting, you stop bleeding power. When you stop defending yourself, you stop wasting energy. When you stop letting people draw you into drama, you stop shrinking your anointing. You didn't react today, and heaven took notice. You remained still, and God took delight. You stayed calm, and the enemy lost track of your weakness. And now God is saying, because you mastered yourself, I can now trust you with what is coming next. And hear me, what is coming is bigger than the attacks you endured, bigger than the losses you survived, bigger than the chapters that broke you, bigger than the people who underestimated you. What is coming is divinely timed, heaven-released, spiritually protected, and tailor-made for this stronger, wiser, more obedient version of you. Chosen one, you have no idea how much spiritual weight you carry, how much heaven has invested in you, how many angels walk with you daily, how many times God has covered you from traps you never saw, and today proved why he keeps protecting you. Because today you acted like someone who is ready for promotion, someone who is no longer ruled by emotion, someone who hears God before reacting to people, someone who chooses peace over chaos, someone who values destiny over drama. And that shift, oh, heaven noticed it immediately, because the version of you that rose today is the version God has been shaping through every heartbreak, every disappointment, every betrayal, every lonely night, every unanswered prayer, every hidden battle. Today you revealed the fruit of that pruning season, and God laughed the way a proud father laughs when his child finally does something they didn't think they were capable of. Today you carried yourself with spiritual dignity, heavenly discipline, and divine restraint. Something you didn't have years ago. Something you didn't have even months ago. And the angels looked at you and said, "This is the one God is raising. This is the one he has marked. This is the one who will walk into rooms carrying quiet authority. This is the one who will speak and shift atmospheres without even trying." And maybe you didn't feel spiritual today. Maybe you felt tired, drained, or overwhelmed. But your spirit was strong even when your body was weak. Your mind was calm even when your heart was heavy. Your soul was anchored even when life was shaking. And that is why heaven celebrated, because spiritual strength shows up exactly in moments when you feel physically or emotionally weak. The fact that you kept your peace today wasn't weakness. It was mastery. The fact that you stayed quiet wasn't avoidance. It was wisdom. The fact that you didn't react wasn't fear. It was transformation. So hear me. Because of what you did today, God is releasing a new level of clarity over your mind, a new level of protection over your home, a new level of favor over your steps, and a new level of authority over your calling. You prove to heaven that you can be trusted with more, and more is coming, quickly, quietly, and unexpectedly. Because obedience always opens the door to acceleration. Chosen one, listen closely. There are blessings assigned to your name that have been waiting for your spiritual maturity to catch up. And today, you stepped into the version of yourself that heaven needs in order to release them. There are doors God didn't open last season because the old you wasn't ready. The reactive you wasn't ready. The overwhelmed you wasn't ready. But today, heaven saw a glimpse of the you that is ready, and something unlocked. God laughed because he saw the warrior in you finally wake up. He saw the disciplined, grounded, spirit-led version of you rise from the ashes of old pain. He saw the healed version of you, the one that no longer needs validation, permission, or approval from people who never truly understood you. And heaven said, "Now we can move. Now we can shift things. Now we can release what was held back." Your growth didn't just please God. It activated heaven. It rearranged timelines. It broke delays. It shattered spiritual stagnation. Because when a chosen one grows, the entire destiny around their life realigns. And today, you crossed an invisible line. You moved from trying to becoming. You moved from hoping to walking. You moved from surviving to rising, and the enemy knows it too. That is why you might feel unusual peace, unusual clarity, or unusual stillness right now, because the storm around you has recognized that you are no longer the same person it attacked last season. Hear me clearly. God is about to reward your obedience in ways that will make sense of every season you thought broke you. He is about to restore what was taken, multiply what was delayed, and stabilize what felt shaky. Because today, heaven didn't just see your growth. Heaven approved your next level. And God laughed because he loves watching his children step into the identity he placed in them long before they ever saw it for themselves. Chosen one. There is something sacred happening inside you, something deeply transformative, something heaven has been waiting for since the day you were born. And what happened today? The moment you showed restraint, the moment you showed wisdom, the moment you showed spiritual maturity, proved to God that the seeds he planted in you long ago have finally taken root. You are not who you used to be. You have outgrown versions of yourself that people still expect you to be. You have stepped into a level of grace, discernment, and emotional stability that only comes from walking with Jesus through seasons of pruning. And that is why God laughed, because he always knew this version of you was coming, even when you doubted it, even when others dismissed it, even when life tried to bury it under pain, loss, and disappointment. And now that this version of you has emerged, heaven is activating assignments, relationships, breakthroughs, and blessings that were waiting for this level of obedience. You may feel unqualified, unprepared, or unsure, but heaven is certain about you. Heaven is invested in you, heaven is confident in you, and heaven is celebrating the way you handled what could have easily broken you. This is why your spirit feels different. This is why your atmosphere feels lighter. This is why you feel a quiet inner strength rising. It is because the weight you carried has been replaced with wisdom, and the burden you bore has been replaced with spiritual authority. And now God is aligning you with people who will honor your growth, not resent it. People who will recognize your calling, not compete with it. People who will speak life into you, not drain you. People who will support your destiny, not sabotage it. Because heaven is done sending you into rooms that shrink you. God is now sending you into rooms designed for your expansion. And hear this, chosen one. You are stepping into a season where God's favor will feel effortless. Doors will open without your pushing. Opportunities will find you without you chasing. Breakthroughs will unfold without you striving, because when your inner world aligns with God's will, your outer world follows. Chosen one. If you have listened this far, it is because your spirit recognizes truth when it hears it. And the truth is this: heaven has been watching you closely, studying your growth, measuring your reactions, assessing your heart. And today, heaven witnessed something that made God himself laugh with joy. Because your obedience, your restraint, your spiritual maturity, your quiet strength, your refusal to react, your decision to trust him in silence was the very thing that signaled to heaven that you are stepping into your divine season. And maybe you think today was ordinary. Maybe you think you didn't do anything meaningful. But hear me. The spiritual realm doesn't celebrate loud moments. It celebrates obedient ones. Heaven is not impressed by performance. It is moved by purity, by humility, by surrender, by trust. And what you did today, your decision to rise above what once dragged you down, was the kind of obedience heaven calls rare. The kind that comes from chosen ones, the kind God honors. And because of this shift, your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet, in conversations you haven't heard yet, in spiritual places you haven't imagined yet. God is positioning people to bless you, preparing hearts to receive you, opening doors that were locked for years, and aligning opportunities that were once out of reach. Because when God laughs over your life, it means joy is coming. Breakthrough is coming, vindication is coming, restoration is coming, answers are coming, open doors are coming, peace is coming, provision is coming, protection is coming. God's laughter is a sign of divine reversal, and hear this with your whole heart. Nothing and no one can stop what is coming. Not the enemy, not your past, not those who doubted you, not those who tried to sabotage you, not those who expected you to react the old way. Your growth scared the enemy, but it delighted God. So here is the prophetic word for you. You are entering a season where God's joy becomes your strength, his laughter becomes your breakthrough, his delight becomes your confirmation, and his approval becomes your protection. You are stepping into divine timing, divine alignment, divine covering, and divine acceleration. Nothing will block what God is building. Nothing will stop what heaven has released. Nothing will delay what was assigned to your name. And now, chosen one, I speak this over your life. May God's hand remain heavy on your purpose. May his angels surround your steps. May his favor open doors no man can close. May his peace guard your heart. May his joy overflow in you, and may his laughter echo through every blessing that is on its way to you. If this message spoke to your spirit today, I invite you to subscribe so you never miss a prophetic word. It helps this ministry reach more chosen ones just like you. And if you feel led, a gentle super thanks or donation helps support the time, prayer, and work poured into bringing messages like this to people who need them. Only if you feel led, no pressure ever. God bless you, chosen one. Your new season has officially begun.